Good morning to you all. Thank you for dialing in today. My name is Linda Botts, and my job is to help you grow your business. Today, we talk about the wonderful subject of planning. So let's get this going with a bit of a story. Okay, there you go. It was a lovely sunny day, and the janitor's job was to clean the cockpit of the 747 Airbus. He's cleaning the windows, wiping the seats, dusting the controls, and just as he is about to finish off, he notices a book lying one side. He picks it up. How to Fly an Airplane for Beginners, Volume 1. Of course, he's now very interested, so he opens the book on the first page and it says, to start the plane, press the red button. So he does. And can you believe it? The plane fires up. The janitor is very excited, so he decides to read the next page. He flips over and he reads, to get the plane to move, press the green button. Of course he does. And the plane started to move. It picks up speed and shoots forward with great power. The janitor could feel his heart beating faster and faster. He knows he must read on. And so he turns to page 3 and he reads, to take off and let the plane fly, press the blue button. He was close to the end of the runway, so I quickly pushed the blue button, and by George, the plane takes off. Now the janitor is flying like a pro. He's enjoying the clouds below him. He can hardly believe how lucky he is. After a while, he decides that it's time to land the plane, and so he turns to the next page, hoping to read how to land this massive engine. Page 4 reads, to know how to land this plane, please purchase volume 2 of the series from your nearest bookstore. Apparently, they say, he's still flying somewhere over the Bermuda Triangle looking for the nearest bookshop. So, why plan? Honestly, you're just a plumber waiting for the call to open a drain or fix a burst pipe or install new plumbing systems, right? I'm reminded by a scene from the movie Alice in Wonderland, a very old Disney movie. Alice is talking to the cat and she's asking, would you tell me please, which way I ought to go from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. Planning and strategizing can be practical and very useful if it's done right. Oh, sorry, guys. There you go. So planning and strategizing can be very practical and very useful if you do it right. The traditional business plan is outdated, and so you can take a deep breath and a sigh of relief. We're not going to discuss the 30-page dust collector. Fact of the matter is that if your dream is to grow your business into an even greater, more valuable, and more profitable business, you might want to consider planning for it properly. This model that I'm explaining to you is called the 1 Hour Plan for Growth, and it has been brained by a man called Joe Kaloon. He's the president of his own consulting company in the USA called Priority Advantage. There's not enough time to practically take you through it, but I will explain the concept and give you a couple of pointers on how to get your own 1 hour plan going. The bottom line to this concept is to put your dream onto a single piece of paper that will answer the following questions. Where do you want to go? Where are you right now? And how will you get from here to there? Your plan needs to be workable and get your entire team engaged and working towards the same end. In my last presentation a few weeks ago, I explained to you how to achieve those wildly important goals. You can always refer back to that recording on the IOPSA YouTube channel. The date of that recording is 13 June. Here is the workings of the 1 hour plan for growth. Maybe you want to take some notes. So where do you want to go? It's important to think about the future in terms of long-term, mid-term, and short-term destinations. Long-term being 5 to 25 years, mid-term being 2 to 5 years, and short-term being 1 to 3 months. Keeping that in the back of your head, you need to think firstly about what is your vision. It's that big goal that inspires you. It must describe your ideal future for your business. An example of that is of Delta Airlines, to be the worldwide airline of choice. When you start thinking and writing your vision, you need to define the answers to these few questions. How good do you want your business to be? Obviously, you want to be very good, but being the best is hard to measure if there's no real competition with real judges and criteria that you can measure your business against. So say that you want to be the best is not really a good answer. If you say you want to be the number one choice, now that could potentially be measured when you intend to combine that with a customer survey where they can answer questions that could indicate that you are indeed their first choice. What are you providing in terms of specific products and services? Here you can decide to go a little beyond just the normal plumbing word and maybe make it more of a problem-solving service. I remember an advert of a plumber many years ago. He would advertise, when your drain is being naughty, dial 0860 40 40 or something like that. He was personalizing his services. Which customers or which market do you service? Perhaps your focus is to service only residential complexes or only office buildings or new projects. You want to include that in your vision. What is the location of your business? Where do you operate? Start by thinking your closest area and then how far out you can potentially service clients before you need to spend too much time and money on traveling to your clients and it becomes a hassle to maintain a good customer relationship. You cannot be everything to everybody. So try to pin it down to these specifics that will help you focus on your target market and give them the best possible service you and your team can offer. The next step is to write your mission. Mission answers the question of why your business or your organization even exists. Mission is the contribution you want to make to your customers' lives. If you can get it right on the money, it will help your team to stay focused on what is your dream and what is important. It will also help you make important decisions going forward on which direction you need to take in your business when it is time for change. An example of a great mission statement is that of Google, to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. To write your own mission, complete this statement, helping our customers. Helping our customers to focus on making a living by preventing unnecessary blockage and bad scenarios with naughty drains. The next step in the process of planning is to determine by what standards of behavior you want your team to operate by. Values define your standards of behavior and your code of conduct. Values will determine how your team interact with each other and how they interact with their clients or customers. It drives your performance and results. By choosing between 3 and 7 values for your standards of behavior, you can make it easy and doable for your team to engage in this manner with whomever they interact with. Here is 9 of 18 values that you can choose from. And on the next page, there's 9 more. Let's quickly run through it. There's accountability, is to answer for your results. There's commitment, creativity, excellence, fairness, fun, integrity, loyalty, passion. You pick the values that is talking to your to your customers, or talking to you as the values that you want your business and your people to go by. There's the last 9: respect, responsibility, service, teamwork, positive attitude, life-work balance, generosity, empowerment, friendly. So you can choose to go with values that is not on this list. The idea is really to define by what standards you want your business to function. By writing it down, you make it official and measurable. It might sound like a list of rules, but by giving your team a framework and structure to operate in, will put the necessary guidelines down so your people can know what is acceptable and what can they improve on so they can improve their own performance. And here's a little side note. This could very well be family values as well. Objectives is just a fancy word for measurements and metrics of the success you are trying to achieve. Writing down your objectives is your next step in the process. Your objective for a new successful plumbing installation is to measure the right amount of pipe, number of fittings, males, females, how much consumable flux, hairs, or cloth, whatever you need to fit a system. You want to keep it simple, so maybe you have a tick list that you work off. Measuring the pipe requires a tape measure, right? I would measure the success of the new installation by checking if everything on my tick list has been ticked off. And when I run the system, no issues comes up, no leakage, no blockage. Then I know I have a successful installation completed. So if my objective is to measure customer satisfaction, how am I going to measure it? And what do I want the outcome to be? I can measure customer satisfaction with a 2-question survey, and I want the outcome to be a 70% plus positive feedback. If my objective is to measure our productivity, I can measure that by using our financial ratio that divides my revenue, which is my total sales for the month, by the number of employees I have. When I compare that number monthly, I can see that if that number goes up, obviously, my productivity is also going up. If you're doing new installations and you want to measure your productivity per project, you divide your project income by the number of employees working on that specific project. Maybe you decide to measure your gross revenue, which is your total sales for the year, to see if you have reached your target or objective that you've decided to go with. Here's a side note again. Measuring your objectives is a typical lag measure. Up to here, we've worked through the question of where we want to go. The next part of the plan creation is to conclude on where we are right now. It is one thing to know where you want to go. It's a whole other thing to face the facts and identify the big issues of where we are right now. The 80-20 principle, was developed and engineered by Richard Koch, suggests that there is always an inbuilt imbalance between input and output in business. We're going to use the 80-20 principle in deciding our current position and the issues we are facing right now. So in essence, what you're trying to do is to identify the 20% of issues that can have 80% of impact in your growth if you were to solve those issues. In practice, any business might potentially have issues based on any of these 8 categories. So let's look at these categories very briefly and try and stay focused now. This can be a little boring, but just stick with me. We're going to run through it quickly. First up is human resources. Perhaps one of your biggest issues is untrained employees who are unable to do their job effectively. It could also be that there is a lack of accountability for results amongst your team, or there might be low levels of employee engagement in the business. You might feel that only one of these issues is applicable to your business, or if you're a one-man show, none of these will apply at this stage. So let's look at the next issue, and that is our physical resources. Perhaps your machinery and other technology that you are using in your business is not functional or it's outdated. And the issue is that you need to replace some of those machineries. Perhaps you have a lack of proper equipment for the type of job that you deal with daily. A nice one to have is the issue of unused workspace that ends up in money spent on rent for space that you are not using. There could be a number of options how to deal with that. The third issue is that of financial resources. If you are not producing financial statements on a monthly basis, this could be something that you want to flag as one of your big issues. Financial statements needs to be timely and accurate. Here's a side note again. Looking at and analyzing your financial statements monthly is a lag measure, but it's very important to understand it so you can make important decisions from there. Perhaps one of your issues is insufficient cash flows. Another potential issue could be a poor or even no budget system. Not planning your expenses could get you into cash flow trouble. The fourth issue is profit requirements. This could very well be everyone's problem. Costs are increasing faster than you have anticipated. You don't have a proper price list and pricing policy, which leaves money on the table. The one customer you ask 200 Rand for the service and another one you feel sorry for, you ask only 150 bucks. That could be a pricing policy issue and you don't have a proper price list. It could bring you into trouble. Or it could be that your spending is out of control and you need to put a system or process in place to curb that. Number 5 is innovation. This could be an issue if your products or service is getting old and you need to refresh your service delivery or the products you use when servicing your clients. Maybe your quality of service needs to be reworked and refreshed. Perhaps you need to find a supplementary stream of income to help your sales grow. Maybe you can sell certain merchandise or something on the side that could potentially bring in some more money. Number 6 on the list of issues is marketing and sales. Every single person in your business should be selling and needs to work on their sales skills. Maybe you are not advertising your services on social media. There's a great opportunity for a plumber to draw attention to their brand and services. If you can think a little creative and make plumbing issues look easy to solve. Or perhaps your issue is that you have not established your business as a brand. There are lots of great business waiting to be had if you can get your market to go for your brand because of what you stand for. Second last on the list is productivity or delivery. This is based on your infrastructure. If you need to keep going back to the client to fix a job that has not been done properly by your own team, you want to tick this as a big issue. There could also be an issue between the sales call and the support service, where information regarding the job at hand has not been properly taken down or handed over to the team who will actually be doing the job. Then there's the issue of too many mistakes at the very first interaction with the client. Customer service can make or break the perception your market has of your business. Hence, you need to properly formulate a sales process which starts the very first contact with the client. The last point is social responsibility. This brings me back to the mission statement. Your employees will lack team spirit if they don't know or understand what your mission is. People buy experience and good causes. When you start giving back to your community where you work and play, your community will support you. But more than that, you're uplifting your own people. Get involved with greater causes than just making a living for your family. If that is something you feel you want to get better in, then you should pick this issue as one of your big ones. The second last step in the 1 hour plan for growth is to take the issues that you have selected above and to create or develop a plan of action on how you will make things better. You do this by specifying the end result you have in mind, by or through clarifying your plan of action. So let's say your issue is too much rework or corrections with current jobs. Your strategy could be something like this: error-free job completions through proper training of team members and efficient job cards, as well as an incentive system for a job well done. The last step in the process is to create action plans for your strategies. Specify which specific task will be assigned to which person on the team. This is what it all boils down to. Don't expect any change if you keep on doing the same thing. And change comes with action. Priorities or action plans provide a point of focus for your employees to achieve the important tasks. We can all sit in a room and someone will say, tea will be lovely. Another one will say, let us make some tea. But who's going to get up and actually make the tea? It's only when someone is nominated to make the tea and instructed on a date and time the tea will be made. So you will say, Paul, you need to make 10 cups of tea and have it ready this afternoon. You start with a verb, you make it measurable, and you end with a date, and you assign a person. Back to our example of error-free job completions, your action plans could be: Gertie to rework the current job card template, to include the new job card process, and develop the new incentive program for job well done. That must be done by 25 July. Tabo will book training sessions on new job cards for all employees. That must be done by 30 July. All employees to make themselves available on 30 July for training. All employees to start using the new job card template by 1 August. You might be asking, why are we doing this again? Well, it's rather obvious. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. And a plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. Please remember that you can contact me on WhatsApp, or you can call me, you can contact me on email if you'd like me to do a health check for your business. It is free. I'm not going to charge you for it. And it is a good way of understanding where you are in your business and what you, where you need to work on your business. I can also, if you do financial statements and you have your financial numbers, I can also do a valuation for you on your business.